And joining me in studio now is the Mortgage Minute Guy, Mr. Roger Schlesinger, and he's got his secret identity glasses on today. So you pull those off and pull your jacket back, and you become the Mortgage Minute Guy, right?
That's it. I fly through the sky with a little of ease.
You know, I was talking at the top of the program about the private sector is doing just fine, or depending who you listen to, maybe not doing just fine. But the mortgage business has actually gotten into some kind of solid footing here because there's a lot of programs available for people that weren't available just a few months ago.
There are. We do have a lot of programs, but the interesting thing is the ones that the government have put out are the ones that are doing very well but are not closing. You know, the HARP was a big program that came out where the government says we will loan to you an unlimited amount of money based on, limited by our boundaries. We can't go over 417,000, but an unlimited loan to value.
Okay.
And if your loan is owned by Fannie or Freddie. Well, that was all well and good. Everybody said, well, great, you know, my house is 250% underwater, so, and it's less than 417,000, we'll do it. Well, the lenders didn't exactly go along with it. The lenders were saying, well, we'll go up to 105%, and one went to 110, and a couple went to 125. And then Fannie said, well, you can't do a 15-year, and Freddie said you can't do a 30-year. So all of a sudden, we have all these applications, all for the HARP, all at different things that most of the lenders won't touch. So we're down to 2 or 3 lenders, and the line for HARP went out to here that was originally there. And now we're finding we have the FHA Streamline, which is a terrific program. This is as good a program as I've ever seen. If you have an FHA loan that you got before June of 2009, you've made your payments, you have a 640 credit score, you get a Streamline. First of all, the upfront fee, which was 1 3/4%, it just was raised to that, is down to 0.01%. So there's no real fee up front. Mortgage insurance was at 1.15%. It's down to 0.55% if you need it. So that's terrific, too. And the best thing about it is there's no appraisal, as long as you have a 640 credit score, and there's no documentation. So we're in it to the 3rd day. Today was the 3rd day that we've had this program. Yesterday, three lenders backed out of it.
Oh, boy. Well, let me backtrack for a moment back to HARP, because it was just a few weeks ago in this program you came on the show and you were playing your HARP for the HARP. You were thinking it was the greatest thing since sliced bread, but you can't get the loans closed by most lenders. I mean, that's a serious problem.
Yeah, most lenders have shut the door on the HARP and aren't interested. There are 2 or 3 lenders that'll do everything that the government wanted done, but the line is unbelievable. And now instead of having a lot of great phone calls, we have a lot of people saying, well, when are we getting our loan?
So is there a lack of faith in the government's ability to back up these mortgages that's holding this back? I mean, what is the roadblock if the government is saying we're going to guarantee these mortgages to the lenders? I mean, from the lender's standpoint, that would be a no-brainer, you would think. You
would think. However, the lenders are very uncomfortable making a loan that's 275% if they have to buy it back. Now, supposedly they don't have to buy it back. No reps, no warranties that say they have to buy it back. But I guess they're not sure, or I guess they're just so uncomfortable with it, they don't want to do it. Or, in many cases, they're warehouse banks who loan them the money to put out before they sell it, won't allow it.
I see.
And so, boom, you go nowhere with it. If the warehouse bank says no, it's no.
Okay, so I mean, I'm surprised that there's not a huge dent on your forehead from beating your head against the wall, but I mean, what are you being able to do now for clients coming to you and say, gee, I need to refinance, I'm underwater in the mortgage, there's all these great programs I'm reading about in the paper, President Obama is saying that the private sector is doing just fine, Roger, I need help. What are you telling people?
Well, I'm telling them the truth. I'm telling them that, you know, I put out a tweet 2 days ago, right after the first day of the FHA Streamline, saying, already one of the lenders who was going to be very big in it has closed the doors and said no more. So no more meant they went one day and said, no, we're not doing this. So I don't know what's going on with all these things. It's pretty crazy. We still have our conforming loans. We still have our great jumbo loans. We have our super jumbo loans. But all of these new programs that you're hearing are having problems.
Well, let's talk for a minute about jumbo and super jumbo loans, because that's not something you've mentioned much on this program in the last couple of years. And that would be interesting to a lot of people who are faced with big loans. Maybe they'd like to try to refinance, or properties they'd like to try to acquire. What's going on in that sector?
Well, basically, if you want a 15-year fixed or an ARM, we've got a lot of players in the market. If you want a 30-year fix, we don't have many, and they're pretty expensive. Not in today's vernacular, pretty expensive, but they are in the high 4% range, maybe even the 5% range, where we can get 15-year fixes in the 3% range, and all of our arms are in the 3% range. From the very low threes to the high threes, whether you want them fully amortized or interest only, depending on your loan to value, depending on your credit score. We've got a lot of players now.
Well, Roger, if people want to get in touch with you, either to yell at you about HARP or find out more about Jumbo and Super Jumbo, how do they get in touch?
They can call us at 866-288-0088, or they can go to mortgageminuteguy.com, select, find a mortgage consultant. That's our little 3-question application. Fill it out, send it in, and we'll get right back to you.
Again, the mortgageminuteguy.com is the website. 866-288-0088 is their toll-free number. Roger, always a pleasure.
Mine.